All right, so we got the full summary for 1120 here, going over the full chapter and way more than what we were able to go over yesterday. This is like a long chapter. I think it's the first 19-page chapter in a very long time, so let's get into it. Chapter starts with a flashback that takes place 26 years ago in Punk Hazard. At that time, a lot of green forests and palms surrounded Punk Hazard facilities. Two men are talking at Punk Hazard's entrance. Vegapunk with his two dragons and Clover. Yes, we found this out yesterday. Clover did show up to Punk Hazard back in the day trying to talk to Vegapunk here, and we'll go over what they're talking about, but I didn't know that Vegapunk was going to be with his two dragons, which is pretty cool. These, of course, are the two dragons that we saw in the Punk Hazard arc that, like, the Straw Hats fought in the beginning. Still not really sure how Vegapunk synthesized these dragons or what these dragons exactly represent. Like, did they actually literally exist at one point in the past, and how was he able to replicate them? Clover begs Vegapunk to help him with his Void Century research because he needs knowledge from other fields. Vegapunk refuses, saying that he's a government man now. Vegapunk says, "Do you remember how many times you have been arrested? They've got their eyes on you. I'm sure you know why you can still roam free like you are. It's to follow you to your den, to capture all your friends." Clover explains that a man who had a D in his name was killed right before his eyes in the past. That man was Clover's brother. Vegapunk is in shock. Clover says, "My real name is Climo D. Clover. That day I lied in order to live." So yeah, this was like the big reveal yesterday. Clover, the professor from Ohara in Robin's flashback, was a D this whole time. Now, it's not really that big of a deal because, you know, he's been dead and he's not like a powerful character or anything, but I guess it just showing us that, yeah, more D people out there, they all have in common that they're trying to, one way or another, save the world, kind of, I guess. But then him also saying, like, I saw a guy with a D in his name was killed right before my eyes. It's like, so why did they let D's in the military then? Because we have like Jaguar D. Saul. He was like a vice admiral, right? And then we have Garp, the goat of the Marines. He's clearly a D. So it's like, what are they doing? We could see a little panel of the moment where Clover's brother was killed. Clover said that he was just his friend to survive. Clover continues talking tearfully. He says, "Are you telling me that there are people in this world who deserve to be killed just by being born or stating their name?" However, Vegapunk says again that he won't help Clover. Vegapunk says too that he will forget about what Clover just said, and while Vegapunk walks inside Punk Hazard, Clover says something more. "Vegapunk, I'll solve it. Just wait. I can hear a voice coming from the past." Cut to 22 years ago, Vegapunk and Caesar received the news that Ohara was destroyed by the Buster Call. Caesar says that he wants to see the massacre himself, and Vegapunk is sad. After that, Vegapunk visits Ohara. This scene takes place just before the flashback we saw in chapter 1066 when Dragon appeared in Ohara. Vegapunk is crying in front of Ohara's lake while he looks at Kid Nico Robin's wanted poster. He says, "So all you died to save this pile of books? Who in the world would be foolish enough to risk their life to carry on your research?" So yeah, this explains why Vegapunk went to Ohara. It's because he felt bad for not helping out Clover. And I guess now he's trying to right his wrongs in the final moments of his life with this broadcast and all this stuff, I guess. Back to the present, Vegapunk's message continues. Zeph and Patty are listening to the message in the Baratier, and we see Tequila Wolf too, where guards are whipping prisoners. In Egghead, Robin is extremely moved while she listens to Vegapunk's message. She covers her eyes with his hand. Vegapunk says history is written by winners. The voices of the losers are faint, buried deep under the sea, but after much sacrifices, I've been able to determine some of the buried truths, and I relayed them to the world. I pray that my message so far has been broadcast safely. Cut to the Labo phase. Zoro and Jinbei are on the Thousand Sunny now. Nus Juro was blown far away, but he's coming back. So, okay, this is explaining where Zoro and Jinbei are. They knocked Nus Juro back, or at least Zoro did, and they got on the Thousand Sunny, but they don't really do anything else in this chapter. It's kind of strange. I mean, I guess they don't have to fight considering what's going to happen, but still, I'm just a little confused here. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Extra Wallet. So if you've been following my channel for some time now, you'll know that I love the Extra Wallet. I've been using it for almost 4 years now. In fact, Extra is one of the first sponsors that we've had on the channel. And the main reason I love Extra Wallet is because it's super slim and it has quick card access. That's right, it has a trigger mechanism that pops up your card. Like I said, I've been using this for almost 4 years now, and it still never gets old. Recently, I just got the Parliament wallet, which has premium leather, extra pocket for cash or cards, holds up to 12 cards, blocks RFID, which is wireless theft, and comes in 6 colors. Extra also has their new Finder card that works with Apple's Find My app, allowing you to track your wallet and other belongings with ease. You can also ring your Finder card from up to 300 feet away. So guys, you can get your very own Extra wallet by checking the link in my description, as well as using code Zhoniin for up to 35% off. Thanks guys. Lilith stops the Straw Hat crew from taking off, saying that if Nusjuro attacks them midair, the speed will drop and the ship will not reach the sea. They can't take off if Nusjuro is still in the way. Suddenly, Atlas appears and punches Lilith, making her unconscious. Atlas's attack smashes Lilith in the sunny floor. Atlas then turns off a device on Lilith's head. She touches Lilith's head and we can hear a click sound effect, and York notices it. She says Lilith's signal is gone, so only Atlas remains. Atlas talks with Nami and the others. She says, please take care of Lilith. I will eliminate your obstacle. Nusjuro is running back to the Thousand Sunny, but Atlas flies and grabs him. Nusjuro slices one of Atlas's arms off, but she still grabs him. Then Atlas uses her Dom shoes and her jetpack to push Nusjuro out of the way as the Thousand Sunny takes off using the Kude burst. Cut to the Egghead shore. Emeth talks to Luffy. He's very excited to see the robot. Emeth says, I'm so glad to meet you again, Joy Boy. Luffy is confused and looks around, searching for who's talking to him, and Emeth has a funny reaction. Emeth says, I'm talking to you. You go on ahead. Your enemy is my enemy. I'm glad to be able to fight for you again, Joy Boy. Luffy says, amazing, so you can talk. Emmet says, Joy Boy is in danger, I will protect him. Dory orders his crew to prepare to set sail, and Bragi asks Luffy if that thing is one of them. And Luffy says, he said he's going to protect the Joy Boy guy, who is that? And Bragi said, he said, we didn't hear a thing. And Luffy says, what, really? So that's actually pretty cool. The robot finally talking to Luffy here, and it seems like he's telepathically communicating with him somehow. I guess this is supposed to parallel to Zunisha, because only Luffy and Momonosuke could hear Zunisha, so maybe there's some kind of hockey aspect to it. Not really sure how it's working with the technology of the robot, but then again, they had some crazy technology back in the day with the Ancient Kingdom. Or maybe you just have to have the voice of all things in order to talk with it in general, or understand its frequency. Also hilarious that it can't tell the difference between Joy Boy and Luffy. I mean, yeah, I know that they both had the Nika fruit, but maybe this means that Joy Boy just straight up looked like Luffy. Jupiter charges at the robot, and Emeth raises his left arm and is about to release an attack, similar to Mazinger's rocket punch pose, but due to its body being too old, the attack doesn't come out. Luffy, Sanji, and Frankie are very disappointed. Jupiter bites part of Emeth's body off. One of Emeth's arm is eaten completely, and Emeth uses its other arm to hold Jupiter back. But Saturn jumps on Jupiter and then jumps onto the Elbaf ship. Saturn looks at Kuma and Bonnie. Cut to the Thousand Sunny that is flying in the sky, and Sanji sees the Sunny from the Elbaf ship. Nusjuro slashes at Atlas. Nusjuro says, didn't expect you to sacrifice yourself. And Atlas says, no, this is called a service. Then Atlas blows herself up, and half of Nusjuro's face is blown off. Alright, yeah, so Atlas straight up sacrificing herself in this chapter. She's gone, and as we expected, Nusjuro is not killed by this. He was probably just gonna get maimed as he is here, and then of course he can just regenerate, because that's like what the Gorosei can do. So I guess she's just successfully holding him off so that the Sunny can escape, because it is like Kude bursting off now. So I guess they're going to leave successfully. In the amazing final double page of the chapter, we can see different scenes while Vegapunk's message continues. Vegapunk says, I would have liked to have more time to do my research, but there are those who already cannot be stopped. 25 years ago, the pirate Gold D. Roger and his crew finally circled the entire world, a feat never seen before. The Thousand Sunny is flying towards the sea. It's near the Elbaf ship, and Usopp and Chopper cry for Atlas. The Straw Hats say, we can reach the sea, and Usopp says, darn it, Atlas, you can't just do that. York tells the Five Elders that Atlas's signal has disappeared, and York says, now the only Dr. Vegapunk in this world is me. Nusjuro, with half of his face destroyed, says, no, not yet. Saturn says, that's Stella, who just can't stop yapping. Jupiter says, of course, we will put an end to it immediately. Jupiter and Mercury charge at Emeth together to stop the broadcast, and Emeth is in front of them. A lot of smoke is coming out of its broken arm. Emmett says, "Oh, I'm rotten." So this is the right time moment you talked about, Joy Boy. Then I'm going to use it now. So yeah, we also speculated about what he could be doing here. Since he can't use like his implied rocket punch thing, he might just self-destruct like Atlas too and try to take down the remaining Gorosei here, which he probably will do, but not kill them, of course. They'll just regenerate, but it'll hold them off long enough to be able to allow the Elbaf ship and the Straw Hats to get away. I mean, it'll end the broadcast because he's blowing up, but I don't really think the robot is even aware of the broadcast or what's going on. He's kind of like in a twilight almost. In the penultimate panel of the chapter, we can see Vegapunk talking in the broadcast. Vegapunk says, which means that they must have already heard the unaltered voice of the past. In other words, I believe you all have noticed this too. This is what I believe will happen in the future of the world. Cut to impel down in the final page of the chapter, and the prisoners are surprised with the last part of Vegapunk's message. And the prisoners say, huh, what? He said Gold D? And that's the end of the chapter. So is Vegapunk actually going to speculate on what he thinks is going to happen in the future of the world? Because that kind of goes against what he said a couple of chapters ago, where he said he didn't want to speculate about things and he just wanted to present facts. I don't know if that conflicts with that, but yeah, no break next week. So let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. If you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.